Hi, this is Scott Schubert, and today I'm going to show you something that's going to cause you to have a kind of a transformation experience. It's going to cause you to have one of those aha moments. And in fact, in just a few minutes before the end of this short video, you're going to have a kind of a sensation in your body that's like a shock going through your body. Because when this happens, a lot of people suddenly feel something that when they realize what they're experiencing, sometimes people are not able to sleep at night for a while after they see certain things when they're looking at their charts, and they have certain realizations because it kind of makes you just lie awake at night thinking about how you can't hardly wait to get back to your charts and apply what you've just realized. But I have to warn you that some people, for one reason or another, because of certain types of resistance that they have in their minds and in their bodies, are kind of just not able to hear what I'm saying, and also not able to see what I'm showing. And for instance, one of the things that causes that to happen is just a lot of resistance that's built up inside of a person. And if you have a voice going on in your head that says, this is a bunch of crap, well, then that stops you from seeing what you were about to see. Thinking, or there's a voice inside of your head that says, I already know that. Then if you just had a voice that says, oh, I already know all this, then it stops you from seeing what I was about to show. And then of course, there's just a lot of resistance in most people who have been involved in trading for a while because of their previous experiences and conditionings of their minds. Okay, so here's the first thing that I'd like you to do, and that is, first of all, whenever you go to look at your charts, you want to just take a few deep relaxation breaths and just notice if there's any anxiety or stress in your body. And if you can, just take a few breaths and then try to release that, because it is a proven scientific fact that stress and anxiety causes the mind to not be able to perceive certain things. So, believe it or not, if you just try doing that before you trade, you're going to see a big difference, because the stress and anxiety is distorting people's ability to make clear trading decisions. Then the next thing I want you to do is just practice going to the longer time frames and look at the picture that you see. In fact, on this euro yen, I've just been amazed with the beauty and perfection in this, the patterns that are being drawn on there. But what you want to do is just go to the longer time frame and look at the picture, and then step down to the next level and notice the way the picture changes, and then go through each of the time frames. In fact, if you're using like a MetaTrader 4, most charting platforms don't have enough time frames, I believe. You want to look at all these in between time frames and just watch what happens to the picture as you step from one time frame to the next. And do you see certain things emerge? Such as when I first started out this picture, we were looking at a picture of an uptrend, and where you can actually see the end of an uptrend. I just stepped down a few notches, and now we're actually looking at a downtrend where you can see the end of a downtrend. Well, if you've had any exposure to the concept of Elliott wave and the concept of how waves subdivide on shorter time frames, this could really open up some amazing doors for you in your trading business. Now, the other thing that I'm going to suggest is that this is one of the things that could make all the difference in the world in your trading, is that when you look at a chart, you're seeing everything that's already drawn on there in hindsight. And for some of us, it's now very clear and obvious where the actual turning points are on each time frame. And these are points where the market has stopped and turned the other direction on that time frame. Like I just showed the end of an uptrend, and then I showed the end of a downtrend on a different time frame. And those turning points could be either the end of a trend or the end of a correction to a trend. Now, if someone were to demonstrate to you that every morning the sun rises in the east and then it's morning, and then after that point, from then on, it's daytime, and then when you look and you notice that the sun is setting on the opposite horizon in the west, and then after that point in time, it's nighttime until the next time that the sun rises in the east again, and then it's morning, and then it's daytime again. Well, some people are able to see something similar to that in the financial markets, and that the markets really do make a series of cycles, and there are clear indications, if you can learn to see them and recognize them, of when the market is forming a turning point and is changing from a trend, could be an uptrend, changing from a trend to an end of a trend, and then beginning a correction. And then once the correction starts, then from that point in time, it's forming a correction. It's not doing anything else on that time frame until it gets to the point where it's an end of a correction. Well, the next thing I'm going to reveal another thing in this video that is about how traders experience this process of what's being formed on their charts while they're watching it in real time, and not just looking back at something in hindsight. But here's what happens is that no matter what trading method that you're using, you could be using any strategy that's ever been used. What's going to happen is you're going to go through a period of time, and during that period of time, one turning point has happened on whatever time frame it is that you're looking at. And it doesn't matter what method you're using, the market is still the same. The market still does the same thing regardless of what method people use to trade it. But if you're looking at a chart, then if you're aware of on that time frame whether a trend or a correction is forming, and whether there has been an end of a trend or an end of a correction, using any method or any indicator or anything that you have ever found in the trading world, the thing that is going to happen is that you're going to now, from right now in this moment, you're going to become aware that if you want to get success in trading, you are going to need to not do anything until that point in time arrives. And what happens is, in the time in between, there is a certain, using any method, there's a clear entry of some kind. And until you get to that point, what happens is people decide to take actions before they get to that point because of feelings of anxiety and the idea that they think that they're supposed to be doing something. Now, if you actually look at a chart and study it, you're going to obviously immediately realize that you're not supposed to be doing anything most of the time. And here's the other part of that is what I believe is one of the most important secrets of trading, is that when you understand what a clear entry is, and when you're watching the market draw this picture on the chart, while you're going through that period of time, it becomes unclear and it looks chaotic for a period of time. And that's just telling you that you should relax and not do anything. But what most traders do is they try to figure out what it's doing, and then they end up getting into a trade. But if they had just waited until there was a clear entry on any time frame, if you look back at all the trades that you have placed, what you will in effect be doing is just subtracting out the majority of the trades that lost, because the reason that you entered was because you weren't willing to wait until there was a clear entry. If you can do this one thing, I'm going to suggest to you right now that your results in trading are going to completely transform. And here's what it is. You open up your charts and you relax and don't do anything. And when there's a clear entry, enter. And don't do anything until there's a clear entry. And then after there's a clear entry, relax and don't do anything until there's a clear exit. And you have to know what would be the reason to get out of a trade, because most traders get out of trades for, and all the professionals included, all the trainers I've ever seen get out of a trade for reasons that are not based on a turning point that you can recognize in the chart. So that's the thing that you're going to need to start doing. During the period of time when there's not a clear entry, instead of trying to figure it out and then creating anxiety and then getting into a trade one way or the other, know that it's obvious if you look at a chart, you're not supposed to be doing anything until there's a clear entry. So don't enter a trade until there's a clear entry, and you will be one of the top master traders in the world. Let me know how that works for you, and if you see a result next week from doing that over the next coming weeks, let me know and leave a comment, share this video. Just let me know what you think. This is Scott Schubert encouraging you to trade deliberately.